Hey everyone, Future Cole here from the editing room. Just to very quickly point out that Audacity gaslit Quinn into thinking that fair audio input was the proper one, and as it turns out, it was some random other place. So, tried cleaning it up as best as I could. This is the best we got. We're shipping the episode as is. We hope you enjoy.
Warning, this podcast has some swears in it.
I'd rate it PG-13 at most, but let's just be on the safe side and say viewer discretion is advised. We will now commence with the clap.
Fuck, I forgot to open the website. Alright, hang
on. Quinn, we've literally been doing this for over a year. It's the same thing every time.
Yeah, but I don't have a checklist that I follow before I lock in or whatever, you know?
Yeah, cool. You know what? Let's just fuck it, we ball, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, absolutely not. We add a third or fourth person into the equation? Definitely, absolutely the fuck not. Incorrect buzzer noises. No.
Wildin'.
Time to raise your blades, heroes.
And check some vibes.
It's the Heroes Blade Vibe Check. Yeah, I'm locked in. Are you?
Yeah, we're locked in.
Okay. So, if there was ever any indication that I need to get the fuck out of this apartment is when our landlady told us that the heating was fried.
Oh no, in the middle of the Canadian winter?
Yeah, our heating has been terrible, but, this was, a definite, no, everyone's heating is fucked. We gotta move. We do have to move out in a few months. They gave us our 4 months notice, and we've been in the apartment for, coming up, 6 years. And they were supposed to, this was pre-pandemic. We moved in 2019 in the summer, and they're like, cool, we are gonna tear this down in, a year and a half. We're like, sure, no problem. COVID hits that winter, and we're like, cool. And they're like, so yeah, we're not gonna do that. And we're like, oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then fast forward to now, November 2024, and they're like, oh, hey, here is your 4 months notice. We're like, okay, yeah, sure. So we got to get the fuck out. But the trade-off is that they gave us this really nice Amazon heater. That's been actually pulling its weight and not blowing 20 fuses in a row. And my girlfriend and I are like, why the fuck did we never get this before? It's embarrassing. We're like, what the fuck? But yeah, so at some point in the near future, and we don't know if we're going to see if we can get out by the end of January or February or whatever. But the hope is, if everything works out as intended for some of the apartments we're looking at, I can get a dedicated space to lock myself into it when we're doing the podcast or streaming or whatever, and then my girlfriend can have the peace of mind for the most part. Can't say the same for my neighbors, but
give you plenty of space to shriek into a microphone at your card gamer friends in silence without disturbing your girlfriend playing. Fuck, I forgot what she'd be gaming on.
Oh, she's playing, Fortnite and shit recently. It's been actually... There's some... What the fuck was that?
I was gonna guess Fortnite. I should have just trusted my instincts.
She was, there was some new free-to-play game that her and her friends... she and her two friends, always, try out these different games, but they usually just default to Fortnite.
Gotcha. Are they checking out Marvel Rivals?
No. I don't think that's come up on any of their radars. It was some other free-to-play game that looked like absolute shit that happens to be on the Switch too. And
rude.
I'll turn over, she'll come to bed at midnight or whatever, it'll turn over and she'll be on the Switch. I'll be like, excuse me, you can still be out in the living room. And she's like, No, I want to be comfortable in bed. The trade-off, of course, is that the game is apparently, like, horribly unoptimized and barely runs on the Switch, or, like, has, like, huge loading times, and I'm just like, well, one, it's free to play, and two, it looks like a piece of shit, so I don't know. You've made this bed, I guess. Now you're gonna have to either see if you're gonna keep playing this game or not.
Yeah, what can you do? It's free. Like, what do you want for free?
Yeah, true enough. Hey, look, some games that are free to play really are worth their weight in gold, and you're like, cool, I will pay the people for, like, hey, thanks for making a cool game, you know? But sometimes they're like, this is a free game with ludicrously expensive microtransactions. You're just like, I need to leave. It's time to go. It's so shit. But yeah,
man, things are wild out there in the non-Nintendo gamer space.
Yeah, Nintendo games, like, you know what? They're releasing Xenoblade X on the Switch. What is
Dude,
it?
I'm so hyped. My fucking patience is finally rewarded because I waited too long to get that for the Wii U. Yeah, that's right. We're raising my hand. I'm a Wii U gamer. But I slept on Xenoblade X for too long, and then it got outside of the range that I wanted to spend on it. And now that they're putting it on the Switch, I have an opportunity to play that again. And I'm super hyped for it because I have all the other Xenoblade games for the Switch. We're looking forward to it.
I am just really looking forward to listening to Hiroyuki Sawano's music again.
Oh man,
because
those soundtracks.
I have a feeling that because I noticed that some artists on, like, Spotify have had their covers of some of those songs taken down, which makes me think that either there's some, like, copyright, like, changes happening in the background, or they're expecting to release the album, like, on Spotify or something. I don't know. But give me more reason to just full blast play Uncontrollable, regardless of the situation. It's just like, oh, this is the song that you play when you're fighting a boss in the field? No! I'm making an omelet on the stove! Let's fucking go! And, yeah, no. That music is just so fucking hype for that game. It's so good. I can't wait. So yeah, what else is going on or coming up or what's been happening? So hey, we saved Christmas. Dragonhawk
Sure
saved
did, yeah.
Christmas for Fitz.
Thank you, Dragonhawk.
Wow, hey, thanks Dragonhawk.
We we sailed over the $1,500 goal, which was, like, already pretty humble. We soared over that before the weekend event even started. I think we got up to over 2,000, like, pretty much overnight. We were like, what the fuck? And then we are now at over 4K. So hey, great job, everyone. We fucking did it. As part of because we were the last game for Saturday for the weekend event, and our goal was to try to see if we could get everyone to get us over to 4K, so Donnie could add a Lord of the Rings gift bundle to, like, the raffle prizes, which was pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah, that's very exciting, especially considering the contents of those bundles.
The One Ring tempts you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Commander staple, the One Ring.
But yeah, so hey, that's a freaking great turnout. You know, Fitz really appreciates it. He's gone on record being like, yeah, I cried a couple times.
Thanks, gamers.
And yeah, so, God, when is this episode going to be coming out? I don't know if they'll do the raffle by then. I'll double check, and update stuff. But whatever. If you know what's going on, like, you already know how to enter into the raffle. Maybe you could win something really cool, like the One Ring. I mean, the Lord of the Rings gift box, and Anyway, let's do some vibe checks, huh?
Yeah, it's about time for that. I'm assuming direct control. I'm gonna go first. I think Kyodai's Soul of Kamigawa passes the vibe check.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 mana, and we're just gonna check these stats here real quick. Yeah, 4 mana 3/3 with flash and flying, and when it enters, another target permanent gains indestructible for as long as you control Kyodai. You can also spend Wooburg and give Kyodai +5/+5 until end of turn. I think that coming down and picking up the Hero's Blade is not the worst use of your time in that deck, especially considering the construction of my particular build with Kyodai. I've got all of the shrines and most of the Dragon Kami. So those guys enter, they're all legendary, they can all pick up the blade. Some of the shrines are legendary creatures, so all of those are eligible to pick up the blade. There's a lot of candidates to hold the sword, and Kyodai can get just fucking massive. And they're evasive already, so we're getting in there for damage.
We're slapping people in the face with giant flying dragons, yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty neat. I have a miscut Kyodai. Like, it's not terrible. It's not like, oh my god, excuse me. Open a can of Coke and you just can't stop burping. I have a miscut Kyodai that I got from Joel, like, years ago, and I got it tucked away safely, but I'm like, I really want to use this.
Hell yeah, dude. Find a software somewhere. I really like the design of Kyodai BT dubs. It's not as apparent in either of those arts, but if you look at the art for Brilliant Restoration, particularly the one by Wiley Becker, you can see that Kyodai's belly is entirely composed of praying hands, and a lot of the other artists were lightweight, let me not draw all of those, and Ms. Becker looked directly at the camera and said, fuck that, I'll draw every one of these hands, and you have to respect the flex.
I feel as if FromSoft did another Sekiro that they would make like a dragon that had those features, because I don't know what it is with a FromSoft, but they always have like that creepy boss that's like made of fingers or has appendages that it just should not have, and it's like,
yeah,
I understand
it's like
it's like praying hands, and then you're like, but wait, that is still a body made of hands? No, thank you. No, I'm good. But it's good to have, I don't know, it's like when they were doing the fear of whatever cycle of cards in Duskmourn, of like having weird out of the box design features that like feels appropriate for like whatever you would expect the thing to look like. And that does feel pretty appropriate for Kyodai.
Yeah, it's the soul of Kamigawa. It's made up of all of the like hopes and dreams and prayers of the people.
I did mention this before we got started, but in the same vein of you playing Ezio as a mono black deck, I am in the back of my brain thinking of making a mono white Kyodai deck, because I just can't. I can make a 4-color deck as long as I have like some criteria, but I can't justify making a 5-color deck. It's just beyond me at this point.
Gotcha. Well, you can come through with that mono white Kyodai deck. I want to see what that looks like.
I'll like get a pile of cards and put them together on my desk, and then be like, cool, I will now mark it on Moxfield and put the cards away, because I am up to different things right now, which we'll go over later.
Also fair.
But speaking of things that I'm trying to do or whatever, so I have an idea in a very similar, kind of a similar vein of you having like, oh, here's a bunch of legendary creatures arbitrarily in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of, if I take apart other decks, of a future project that's either between Francisco Falmarauder and Bruce Tarl as partners, or Warnog and Sophina Friends Forever, and have them be a more dedicated D&D backgrounds deck. Because I was every once in a while, they'll come up in like discussion or a deck list or whatever, and like I just and one of the articles that we'll be mentioning later kind of goes to part of that. But I think of like the True Soul 1 and the things that's like, oh, commander creatures you control get +X/+O because of XYZ reasons, or they attack, they gain indestructible. You have a copy of, like, Rising of the Day, so your legendary creatures get +1/+1 haste and all this other stuff. So I kind of have a brief, short, not completed mock-up of my Mox field and be like, cool. Could these be interchangeable commanders, and what do I want to get out of it? Regardless, Hero's Blade goes in for sure in
Absolutely.
both of these. And in the case of, like, Wernog maybe wants to go in and out, but Sofina absolutely loves it, and Francisco absolutely loves to hold the Hero's Blade, and Bruce Tarl, like, don't even get me started. So I feel like this, for a future project, yeah, all of these definitely do pass the check in some way or another, even if, like, one of them is not the main focus of the commander pair. But I don't know, if I make this deck, there's a few things that need to happen. One of which is I will need to, I probably would be pitching 2 or 3 decks to make it. I just need to look at my new spreadsheet for the year and re-examine my relationship with some of the decks that I have on that list and change their color coding and be like, do you bump down from a light green to a light yellow, or do you bump up to a dark green? Who knows? We'll have to find out. But yeah, I'm down to 34 decks, and I think I would need to sacrifice a couple to get these to get together.
I think it would be a worthy sacrifice. I'm absolutely dipping my ladle in the pot labeled Mardu aggro soup.
Yes, we are both very big fans of that. Also because I need to, like, detox from all these control decks that I've been playing lately. To which, yes, as it turns out, I am a control player, and it has something to do that we'll talk about because, oh, hey, we're in the new year. It's the new year, quote-unquote episode, so we'll go over that later. Let's just go into community comment stuff now. Last episode, and we got,
hang on. I gotta make sure my heater doesn't turn on.
Oh, well, alright.
Every time.
Every time.
And we're back.
But, I could totally just... Listen, I've been doing some new... Not that I did anything necessarily crazy with editing. I'm always kind of learning if my workflow is appropriate for, like, any changes to, like, our audio quality. And I think I fucked up episode 29 or 28 a bit, but then I corrected on episode 30. But it requires... Geez, editing is just so crazy now with, like, some of the new tools that I got in Audacity. It's very fun. But sometimes I'm just sitting there like, wait, there's that fucking air razor beep on Quinn's audio track. I better fucking get rid of that. But then it'll be happening in the middle of you talking. I'm like, can't touch that. It's stuck in there. But yeah. No, hey, whatever. I am laughing because last episode I purposefully edited in a Discord disconnecting sound when we lost you at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, are people gonna freak out and think that, like, Discord went off in, like, as they're listening somehow? And I don't know. I just also think it's just a funny bit where, like, John and I are shooting the shit and you're just like, boop, I'm gone. Thank fucking God your computer fucking saved that file, though. Holy shit.
Truly. OMG. Oh.
Alright. Community comments. We had Uncharismatic Bard come in for episode 29 to talk about your Cranko deck, I'm pretty sure, in this case.
Yeah.
You should check out Crime Novelist for that Goblin deck if you haven't. Fun episode. Thank you very much.
You're so right. Crime Novelist is a fucked up Magic the Gathering card, and I should absolutely be playing that in my Cranko, like, new Cranko deck. I think the only reason that I'm not is that I just don't have it on MTGO. But if I can get a copy of that there, then yeah, easy windmill slam in the deck. It's free real estate.
Hold on. Let's check out how much a Crime Novelist is over on MTGO. oh, it's like 3 ticks. Like, come on.
Wait, 3 ticks or like 0?
0.03. 0.03 ticks.
Okay, yeah, that's like 3 cents. That's fine.
Like just literally take $5. Like the difference in in price quality is so bizarre to me from the outside looking in. But if you could literally be like, I have a $5 budget, I would like to invest in Magic the Gathering NFTs. What can you do for me, MTGO? And MTGO says, I'll just give you like 200 fucking cards. And you're like, sick. Like, new deck.
You can indeed get that many cards for like $5.
It's pretty criminal, if you ask me. But yeah, Crime Novelist has always been a card that's like flown. I haven't seen it played a whole lot.
Are you kidding me?
I've very rarely seen it.
I feel like every time I've seen like a Treasures Mage, they're also on Crime Novelist. And
yeah, well, look, if they're playing Prosper, then yeah, obviously that's what's going on. But other than those particular cases, I've very rarely seen it, hilariously enough. Maybe it just goes to show what the type of people that I play with. They have, they just have they're from, I don't know what I'm trying to go with that.
It's also just like a variance thing. Because like the places that I saw at are gamers that we gamed with. Like both of us. It's just like it didn't come up in the games that you saw them with, I guess.
But yeah, I was thinking of maybe eventually grabbing one. I just don't know if I can justify putting it in like Audric Bloodcurse,
Gotcha, yeah.
But yeah, so thanks Uncharismatic Bard. John commented, glad to have been on the cast. Angry bird noises.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. That was great. Dominus Lux Light saying, new intro, hell yeah. I love how version 2 is sinking even deeper into the waves of chill vibes.
Hell yeah, thank you. I wrote that new intro track, so if you liked that, I don't remember if it's on my SoundCloud or not.
I think your other new song that you made is on there, but I don't know if you added that.
Yeah, I don't double check. I guess I should post that then. I also just today posted another track, so check that out. I be doing the music shit. It's not just backing tracks for my bong rips. It's also stuff that goes up on SoundCloud occasionally, and you can download them usually.
Yeah. Stephen Jones 4953 saying here, I need to pick up a copy of Heroes Blade and join the club, lol. I really want to build an Ian the Reckless deck.
Yeah.
So Ian the Reckless is from the Fallout set. It's 1 in a red for 2/1 human warrior. Whenever Ian the Reckless attacks, if it's modified, you may have it deal damage equal to its power to you and any target.
You gotta be brave for that, but...
We have Witch's Clinic on deck.
Yeah, I guess if you do just go...
Luxodon, Warhammer, Shadow Spear, blah, blah, blah. So,
alright.
We have ways to gain life, Quinn, while we're hitting ourselves in the face. But I feel like, sequencing and blah, blah, blah. But there's probably some pretty cool stuff that you can do with that are just, it's the fact that it's excuse me. You just get an attack trigger, and you just go, cool, shoot myself for 5, whatever, I'm playing mono red, shoot whatever for 5. That seems like a pretty neat trade-off. You can also, if someone's not blocking or can't block, so you hit them for 5, you also shoot them for 5.
Just get fucking 10'd.
Yeah, no big deal. And then afterward, it's pretty much all up from there. But yeah, this guy, again, another card that, I have one, I think, from when I got packs for Fallout, and I'm like, I don't know if I do anything with this guy, and yet here we go. We got Stephen Jones being like, yeah, but what if though? And be like, yeah, all right, you know what? I see your game. I see what you're all about.
Mm-hmm.
What did Lenny have to say here?
Lenny here says, y'all talking about feeling old when none of you mentioned the N64. I was there learning the old magic. I did not have an N64 growing up, my guy. I had a Game Boy Color and a PlayStation 1, and any N64 gaming was done at my friends' houses.
Yeah, that's usually how it went for like the OG Xbox and PS2 for me. Again, Game Boy Advance kid, that's the only thing I had. Also, I was thinking about this. When I was in my early 20s, I think. And when I was a free-spirited man, not bound by his relationships or anything like that, I was like, cool, let's hang out with this girl and have a fling or whatever. She's like, we're playing Smash Bros. On the N64, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Whipped my fucking ass. I'm like,
Yep.
this is severely unfair. This controller is a fucking piece of shit. Like, what is this? But anyway, yeah, no, I just thought that was a funny tangent. But
That is very funny.
Yeah, she's like, all right, I'm gonna kick your ass, and then we're gonna go to my room. And I'm like, well, I just gotta accept my L, I guess.
Yeah, just go ahead and hold that one.
Yeah, it's, things could be worse, things could be worse. Brayden's back.
Yeah, Brian says, takes a deep breath and leans away from the mic with joyous excitement. 3 hours?
I just tried to take a sip of my Coke. Fuck. Yes, as a matter of fact, it was 3 fucking hours.
What, you thought I wouldn't commit to the bit?
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. I really did not fucking expect that. Oh, fuck. But yeah, I was like, are we finally gonna do it? And we were like, yes, we did. The only potential consequence that it was apparently too much for Quinn's computer, and it nearly ruined the whole thing. But thankfully, Dragonhawk saved Christmas.
Yeah, man.
Not much more to say.
Yep.
We love running our mouth on this podcast.
Hashtag certified yapper.
All right, everyone, thanks for checking in, speaking your piece, blah, blah, blah. Hey, you know where to find us. Let us know what's going on. Let's go into content. Few different articles this week. One that I had been eyeballing for a while, and it is available through the Herald's Horn on Substack. So if you listen to the Herald's Horn, maybe you could just go subscribe to them or whatever and just get to see what the heck is going on over in the Herald's Horn. This article is written by Nathan Jones, aka the Hermit Druid. He's got an article here about Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, and how Battle for Baldur's Gate didn't get what it deserved.
Man, that set fucking owns. There's so many cool designs on there, and just not the right timing.
Yeah,
I think and that's I think what Nathan discussed in the article.
And it's even funny where he's like, listen, I'm a spiky ass motherfucker, but this set slaps. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We're getting some.
If even the spikes can find something to love in Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, then you gotta fucking take a look at those cards, gamers.
Hello? Like, we just mentioned backgrounds. And again, not even getting into, because again, this is something that Nathan talks about, and it's something that's probably known at this point, but with Baldur's Gate 3 being as successful and popular as it was, and my god, Larian's like, we gotta keep this shit in the oven for another year, and everyone's like, oh no, but you know what?
I dream about the universe that this and Baldur's Gate 3 dropped at around the same time.
Night and fucking day experience, like, through the roof. It would be the most popular set ever of all time. Like,
I don't know about all that, but it would be very well liked.
It would be, I don't know.
I probably wouldn't have an etched foil Karlach that I got for like $5 because she is extremely not.
Oh no, she'd be super expensive now for sure. Mama K, go figure. But yeah, go check out the article. It's a transcription from Nathan. It was edited by Seth Cross and then furtherly edited by Cal Jones of Herald's Horn fame. Which, hey, by the way, go check out that podcast. I like listening to those peeps. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Then we have Rebel Lily with a
Yo,
video of this is how many lands. This is how many lands you should be playing in Commander mathematically. And I'm just like...
Homegirl fucking breaks it down for you, cites all of her sources, shows you how many lands that you should probably be playing in Commander, and then ways to get away with not playing that many lands in Commander.
I will say, though, as a consequence of that video, I took a deep look into myself, and I looked over my Audric Bloodcurse deck, which is a 35 land deck with 1 MDFC, and I said, fine, I will put in 1 more land and Ruin Grinder so I can go mountain cycling.
Oh, let's fucking go, dude. That's fucking perfect. That's exactly what she's talking about.
And I already have Angel of the Runes in the deck, and I was also having a moment where I was like, hey, we got, like, foil versions of Angel of the Rune now. We got the Doctor Who version. I'm like, can we get a foil Rune Grinder for me, please? That would be greatly appreciated. But it also... It does also manage to make the cut because it has a keyword. So it's pretty relevant.
I saw some like comments in the video like complaining about how the land cyclers are just like bad cards or whatever, and I'm just like looking at Ruin Grinder, who's a checks notes 7/5 with I think Menace or Trample, one of those two.
It's a 7/4 with Menace, and then when it dies, and then when it dies, everyone wheels.
Yeah, like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you blocking that? Do you want to put a Wheel of Fortune ability on the stack?
Look,
no?
Okay,
want to take 7 and lose 2 creatures, maybe?
Here, I was also thinking about this too, because I realized it actually ends up boosting Bloodrick in a weird way circumstantially with the death trigger. So it can't be reanimated by most of my reanimation effects, so I might have to re-examine that. But Razorkin Needlehead.
Let's fucking go.
And the other one is Molten Psyche, because it cares about how many cards the opponent has drawn that turn.
Oh yeah, so if you force the... Well, I mean, I guess Ruin Grinder's a wheel, but they don't have any reason to suspect that you're going to follow up with a Molten Psyche, and if you get wheeled into that, then get fucking got, bitch.
Yeah, so get all of that out, and it's fucking awesome. But anyway, tangent aside, yeah, we're... There's so many ways that you can engage with Commander, and one of them is like, how do you fundamentally play your spells? Well, you do need resources. You can't just keep adding mana rocks and treasures unless you do. And then, but like, I don't know. It's just a good reminder to keep yourself humble and have a good amount of lands in your deck, so you prevent all those constant free mulligans of being like, you know what? I've done this like 4 times and I still don't have enough lands. Maybe I need to re-examine what I'm doing with this thing. But if you have like over 40 lands and it's still happening, I don't know, I guess you just suck at shuffling or whatever.
Oh man, that's the dark truth that people are not ready to hear.
I'm not ready to hear it.
I think it's so funny that every time this subject comes up, though, people are like up in arms, except for this time. This time people have been like...
Well, except the CEDH players. Everyone's like, but my CEDH deck, and she's like, I literally just said it's not for CEDH. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's just to them fundamentally not comprehending the text or like not watching the video or whatever. But like the fucking articles that have come out before this, casuals got all up in arms, and this time they were ready to receive the information, and I'm proud of you all.
Good job. Keep it up, everyone. Kristen's got 3 articles out, or probably a little bit more than that, but I think by the time the episode came out, there was a new article, and then...
Listen, whatever the number is, go get caught up. You're going to want to read all of them.
I just like how... So, you know, I love my good old Christian Minecraft server podcast or whatever, right? But...
Sorry, what?
Okay, truth be told, any time that there's a super squeaky clean rated E for everyone article or video or whatever, like, I'm like, man, where's like the punctual fucks? You know, like where's the swearing? Where's the rude gestures? Where's the candidness, right?
Okay.
And I don't know who's been having fun or allowing Kristen to just go nuts when she drops a swear here and there. Like, I just really enjoy that when, I don't know, it's just, we're a bunch of Commander players, we're a bunch of adults, we're playing a game and having fun with it, right? So when Kristen has these articles that are just kind of from the heart, it kind of also goes back to Nathan's article earlier, where there was, I think Seth noted that there were already like 25 fucks in the article, and we weren't even halfway done yet. So it's like, yeah, that's pretty on point. But yeah, I just prefer it when people have a little bit more, a little more loose with it, while also still having like a structured article. So the three things that I in particular that I'm putting out right now, what do fetch lands gatekeep in Commander, which is a very interesting title.
Mhm.
Followed with leveraging lightning rods in Commander, which included Thalia Heretic Cathar that I had re-added to Audric recently before the article came out, and I was talking about it, and Kristen's like, wait till you read my article later today, and I said, say no more, I'm already there. And then the 10 card she was looking forward to casting in Commander in 2025, which is a super broad diversity of cards from across Magic's history, but also Assassin Gauntlet mentioned.
Hell yeah.
I love that fucking card. I love the assassin equipment in that set. It's just, but Assassin Gauntlet because it taps everything down for one player.
I think Assassin Gauntlet in particular is good, but like you feel it's uniquely good because you're almost never paying retail for it.
It's 3 mana. Like, what are you talking? It auto equips on ETB and it taps down all of one
Is that
player's
one not the
creatures.
5 mana one? What am I thinking of? There's
You
like
are
the 5
thinking-
mana equipment, right?
No, there's the 5. Okay, I played that last night. That was the assassin whatever, but that one kills something, gives the equipped creature menace, and auto equips for 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking
This
of.
is 3 mana,
Well,
which is
shit.
obscene. But yeah, so yeah, Chris. So just kind of like, what are cards that you can play that can generate focus and have people eat removal for you, and then play your actual bombs, like baiting out a counterspell and then following it up with something else. You know, that's
Oh,
what
dude,
you
I
do.
exercised that perfectly in a game. I got done reading that article and I was just like, yes, I did exactly this the other day. I had a Dragonhawk in exile that everybody could see that I was able to cast, and we had like Hugs and some other ferocious creatures on the battlefield. So we're looking to draw a couple of cards, and all of that looks very bad for my opponents. So they're incentivized to not let Dragonhawk resolve. And the blue Tempo Mage is sitting over there with the fucking smiley face emoji and 2 blue mana up, like, try it, I dare you. So I'm like, alright, fucking bet. I guess I gotta eat this counterspell and then we'll let Dragonhawk sail on through. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna cast something that you have to respond to then. And they're just like, alright, bet. And I put the Black Blade Reforged on the stack. At which point they're like, alright, fuck, okay, I'll counter it.
Oh no,
Just
you're going to be a responsible gamer.
Hugs, that's like my commander is getting the
Oh,
buff on the Black Blade, and Hugs has trample, so like you're fucked.
Extra land per turn, so the rate is really good. He's got trample. Yeah, no, it's fucked. Shit's fucked.
Yeah, it's extremely fucked. You do not want to see a Black Blade Reforged on Hugs. So he countered that, which was smart. It's what you're supposed to do. But that meant I was able to cast Dragonhawk uninterrupted, and that's also not what you want to happen. And sometimes gamers, you just have to accept that this thing is going to be fine and it has to get countered so that I can let this other thing sail through.
You just got to catch people being overly responsible. Yeah, so
you got me the other day too.
I got you last night. I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna cast this, and you're like, nah, and I said, cool, all according to Keikuk, Kumi's plan.
And you're like, now that counterspell is out of the way, wipe the board, and I'm just like, fuck, all my apes gone.
I'm gonna do the thing that I wanted to do anyway. I love being a sneaky commander player. So yeah, so that's the lightning rod. What do fetch lands gatekeep? It involves like all the archetypes and variants that you would want to play fetch lands in. I avoid fetch lands as much as I possibly can, except for anti-flash, because you can bring them back. I was playing against Light recently, and they were playing a 4-color Saskia deck.
Mm-hmm.
And was it Varrock or Varos or whatever? That 3-mana, 3/3 bunch of keyword vampire that said if you would pay life. Yes. That card loves fetch lands, as it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting on the receiving end of it, and then Light also had ways of bringing back the fetch lands.
Of course.
And I'm like, so this is not okay.
It's really not.
So I tried to bolt that thing out of the sky ASAP, and but I was just like, I forgot about that vampire until it showed up again and did the one thing that I'm like, oh, this is why fetch land shouldn't exist ever. And Pandora already opened the box. It's too late. Fucking hate that stuff. But yeah, and then I'm sure there's a bunch of cards that I still probably haven't had the opportunity to cast very often, if at all, yet, even with decks that I have assembled. I was thinking I wanted to be able to cast Skullstorm finally,
and love that shit.
And Hidetsugu and Kairi in particular.
That
could be pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So yeah, go check out Kristen's articles. I always enjoy her mentality when it comes to Commander and Magic in general. I always got that thing ready to go as soon as I hear that the article's out, and if I don't see a notification on socials, I'll go to her main page and be like, there's another article here for me? So yeah.
The fucking lady with the nails and her hair and all that all done, just clicking passionately.
The Christina Aguilera clicking the mouse button.
Yes, yeah. That one.
love that. I love that one. It's so funny. All right, so that is it for content for this part. Let's go into the recently renamed off the shelf brews.
All right.
Because you and I have been doing a lot of cards from table/shelf deck. So I felt it was appropriate to kind of do that. How about you start this off?
All right. We're going to start this with our girl, Admiral Brass, Unsinkable. I had a gift card, so I spent some of it on MTGO. I got the Pirates Precon. I got some singles. Surprisingly, Pirates plays just fine out there. People kind of ignored my mid-range combat game plan, and I'm just getting in there with evasive little guys, getting some combat damage triggers, drawing cards, making some treasure, occasionally reanimating a dude, and none of that is very threatening until the late game, where I start stealing their big, impactful bombs and turning their card quality against them. Feels pretty good. I played a game in paper, and actually, shout out to Fredo. I don't know what his handle is anymore. I think it was Virtue MTG for a while, and I was just I think he was rebranding, and now I don't know if he's rebranding anymore.
Let me. Did he name himself Fredo TCG? Let me look it up.
Fredo TCG. That sounds right.
Listen. Oh no, he still calls himself Virtue on Blue Sky.
All right. Well, maybe one day that'll get updated. But
knock. All I know is that ever since he got his fancy new job at some other rival gaming company, that he can't be an ambassador. But then he's like, knock knock. It's 2025. Who's ready to play Magic with me? I'm like, me. I would. It's been a while.
Anyway. So yeah, shout out to Fredo who hooked me up with the Pirates Precon in paper last year. I finally got the opportunity to play that, and
the fuck?
What a deck, gamers! They really put their whole everything into brewing that one.
As it turns out, modern precons actually do kind of fucking slap out of the box.
Yeah, I'm just over here getting my guys on the battlefield. I'm turning them sideways, getting in for damage. I'm playing Pirate Lords. I'm playing an early Malcolm, and I've got two other flyers. And I'm just turning my guys sideways, and everybody's just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, there's too much value happening here.
What's going on down there? And I'm just like, bro, chill. It's literally a pre-con.
No, it's like, not.
What?
I was so shocked.
Yeah, it was extremely funny. So then I play the Admiral, and we cast a Corsa Recruiter after that to start stealing bombs. I got a Karlak, and we're trying to go to combat and put the Admiral brass trigger on the stack, targeting another pirate, so when that guy enters, I can steal another guy with the Recruiter. Gamers, here's where I get interrupted, and this is why we play the fucking talking stick.
It's a pre-con! Shut up!
Somebody exiles my Recruiter. They Chaos Warp Karlak. Can't have shit around here. Boo. But
it wasn't even your
Karlak. Razor. Yay!
Yeah, no, that's fucked. It was.
So we end up having a really good combat, but it pops the fuck off next turn. Basically, the gamers look at my board state and do the math themselves in their head. We've got the Port Razor, who I've given Menace and +2/+2 with an arm-mounted anchor, and they each have like one blocker that they can block with, and they decide that the 3 combats that I'm going to get, plus the Time Stream Navigator that I've dragged back from the grave with the Admiral Brass Trigger, is going to make this game extremely over. So we moved on.
Yeah, just called it. It was like, it's a stock pre-con. What? I'm gonna kick your ass. Oh no!
I'm gonna take 3 extra combats and then an extra turn. Are we good here?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's good to just say GG. Yeah. Port Razor. What did I do? I had a Port Razor in a deck years ago, and I can't remember what deck it was, but I was shocked by how good it was when you had extra combats. Oh, you know what? I think I played, like... Fuck, what's the sword? The one that gives Myriad.
Oh, Blade of Selves?
Yeah. I think I had, like, a Blade of Cells or something like that, and then I just attacked everyone, and then reset, and then attacked the people with the other Port Razor, and made more Port Razors.
Yeah, that gives you enough combats to close it out.
Just couldn't tell you what the deck was. It was like forever ago, but I was like, this is not okay.
It's really not.
But yeah, hey, so turns out Precon still got it, even when you're in a pod of like somewhat tuned commander decks.
Yeah, these are like normal ass commander decks. People are like, yeah, I've been working on this for a couple of months. I'm pretty tuned and happy with where it is right now, and I'm just like, well, here's this Pirates Precon that I just took off the shelf and sleeved up the other day.
Just ridiculous. Yeah, Pirates as a typal group have definitely gotten better over time.
They've gotten so much better, OMG. Insert
5 mana something pirate, do something busted. Oh no! It's not Port Razor, it's the
Port Razor, Coercive Recruiter, the Captivating Crew, all of those are extremely strong and impactful. Mm-hmm. The Skeleton Crew was a fucking MVP of that game, actually, because it generated additional pirates to continue going wide with every brass trigger, and it's also a Pirate Lord, and you can't really meaningfully remove it, because if it dies, I'm just going to bring it back from the graveyard with its activated ability.
Yeah, it's just there was never a time where you didn't have some kind of value available, and you're also making treasures because of Malcolm.
Yeah.
And it's not just you make a treasure. Again, everyone, remember what these cards say. It's whenever they deal damage and it scales up, we're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like every combat making 3 treasures because I'm connecting with each player because I've got 3 flyers.
Yeah. Dire Fleet Ravager is in that precon too, yeah?
Yeah, so I can just get in there and cut some life totals and buy a 3rd. Yeah.
What a cool card.
Man.
Very cool card.
I love Magic the Gathering.
It's a very cool game. I can't quit.
Truly. I was just sitting and
Um,
thinking the other day about how much I love Magic the Gathering and what a cool game it is.
I think as much as my girlfriend is driven up the wall by my like rampant random purchases of like, cool, I'm going down to the LGS. She's like, again, and I'm like, look, they know me by my first name. All right, it's embarrassing for everyone. I'm there like 2 times a week, grabbing like little packages here and there, or like I finally grabbed a bunch of Grixis Crime City stuff.
Nice.
I still need to get a lot more, but it's like super cheap to make when you're not including shocklands and stuff and using all these new land types. Like you have 13 or less life, it comes in untapped, and like that goes in there. Deals 1 damage to target opponent. Seems great. And then you have all these random counter spells and little dirtily dudes and reanimator spells, and yeah, no, it's gonna be sweet. But yeah. Magic is very cool because it allows you to do all these different things. So speaking of loving Magic the Gathering so much that you can't have the heart in yourself to cut all your super cool decks that you made.
So I cut some decks.
I stabbed myself in the heart 20 times. So last year at some point I realized that I needed to cut down decks. So I went from around 50 plus to about 40. I think I was at 40 or 42 or something. And then I realized that like it was trickling up again, so I needed to do another cut down. So I managed to initially start around like 37, 38, and now I got it down to about 34 because I made the Iron Man deck that I'm going to be talking about in a second here. But it is important to be like, okay, how much, like, I have a lot of cards in my collection, I know this, it's pretty obscene. It's still probably the most tame collection in comparison to some people. But some people are like, what do you guys do with your bulk? I'm like, well, you get these giant shoe boxes. You get these giant 4-row shoe boxes. You shove all your cards in there. And then when you take apart a deck, you'd be like, dang, I don't have any more room because I have all these 50 fucking decks on my shelf. So then I have to get a new box to accommodate for the increase. So anyway. But circumstantially, Andy and Kyle over in the Legendary Creature podcast, Andy was talking about how their playgroup, their church playgroup, is doing a clean slate purge that I have dubbed the Legendary Creature Ragnarok.
Yeah, they really are tearing it all the fuck down. Just meta wild.
All you just see, and some people were just joining and they're like, what's going on? Why is Andy showing photos of all of his decks? As he's like probably like crying and sobbing and pissing and shitting as he has to de-sleeve all of his favorite decks, and he's like, I get to keep 3, but how can you pick your favorite children? And I'm like, I don't know, man, but that is a brutal experience. I think if I was more entrenched in a dedicated small pod like they have, because I think, what do they have, like 8 people or approximately or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Like, the fact that you can get everyone on board to do it simultaneously is, like, crazy in itself.
Yeah, let's just completely reset the metagame.
I still need to cut down a few more. I know it's just so hard to do, but I don't think I could do a complete clean slate. But obviously, as a consequence, with all of these decks being taken apart, or at least being put to the side to be de-sleeved, I now have a lot more cards to put back into circulation to, if I'm taking a deck off the shelf, I can either have the deck be used as like the same slot for a future one, or if I take 2 decks apart and use those parts for like a new deck, like the 2-for-1 trade-off, like I'm still going down. It's just slow as molasses. So as part of that, I got to make Hidetsugu and Kairi, aka Ogre Demon Dragon Money Game. We love casting free spells.
We really do.
I had that Ancient Cellar spawn come in from an order that was delayed by Canada Post, and I had no intentions of making this deck at all when I bought the card. I just thought, I'm probably going to be casting free spells somehow, and I might as well get a copy before I forget or like I'm not able to get it locally. But then by the time it showed up, I'm like, actually, this deck really does love Ancient Stellar Spawn, as you're just firing off 8 or 9 mana sorcery spells for free.
How many times did you cast the Kindred Dominance that one game? Like, you tried to cast it 3 times?
Was it Kindred Dominance? I don't think
it was the Typal board wipe.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I cast it like twice. It wasn't 3 times. Let's calm down.
Still, casting that for free that many times, it's like, it's gonna do some damage with the fucking Stellar Spawn.
Yeah. It's, ugh. So yeah, the Stellar Spawn managed to make the cut in. I actually did take Kindred Dominance out, because I wanted to put in the Outlaws of Thunder Junction version of Overwhelming Forces, where you destroy all creatures target opponent controls. You get to draw a card for each creature destroyed this way, and it also kind of looks sick.
Yeah, that one is pretty neat.
But I took apart Sir Conrad a while ago, and then as part of the purge, I took apart the Ukmenbach, the Great Mistake. So I'm like, I have pieces in the mana base. I also finally got to reuse my black and white Innistrad lands, like the islands and the swamps. So I was like, maybe rather than making Runo Stromkirk again, maybe I'll do something else. And yeah, Hidetsugu and Kairi is the quote-unquote Dance Macabre deck, I guess. I have some ways of like looping Archaeomancer and that kind of stuff. I put in Coiling Rebirth. I got a new Blasphemous Edict. Candlekeep Inspiration is that fucking card.
It really is.
I don't know how many times I tried. I have like probably 3 or 4 copies of Candlekeep Inspiration because I really got hyped up on it when it first came out, and I just never properly put it in the deck. And how do I like Candlekeep Inspiration more than Slime Against Humanity, despite the fact that it has similar templating where it cares about the number of cards you have in exile and in your graveyard? The difference is, this doesn't give trample and scale up infinitely for some degenerate bullshit reason.
You can only have 1 copy of Candlekeep Inspo.
Yeah, that's how we fucking play Commander around here, you fucking Philistine.
You can, however, play a Crackling Drake and 2 other Izzet Drakes that also have power toughness equal to the number of instants and sorceries and all that.
Yeah, you can have any variation of those that you want. You can get, Bloodwater Entity that allows you to put something back on top of your library and has prowess. Like, same shit, But yeah, I've played it a few times so far. I haven't gotten to play, like, the Ancient Stellar Spawn. Blade of Shared Souls is not an okay card.
Yeah, the card's bananas.
Blade of Shared Souls says 2 in a red, 2 in a blue for an artifact equipment from all will be 1. For Mirrodin, when it enters, you create a 2/2 red rebel creature token and attach the equipment to it. So when it becomes attached to a creature, as long as Blade of Shared Souls remains attached to it, it becomes a copy of another target creature you control. When you have a few tokens off of, like, I don't know, a Talran Sky Summoner or a Sedgemoor Witch, you just start being like, cool, so I make another copy of Hidetsugu and Kairi and have it die. What's on top of my library? How about I just fucking kill you? Cast Breach the Multiverse like 20 times, and people are like, you can't keep getting away with this. And I said, lol and Lamau Archaeomancer.
And then you do.
And then I do. So yeah, neat deck. How long will it stick around? Is it going to cause similar experiences for everyone, including just mercilessly beating them down as I just cast like the most obscene 8 or 9 mana spell that you've ever seen? I don't know, but
just fucking
I do
board wipe after board wipe into free spell after board wipe into Breach the Multiverse.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Also scamming. Go figure.
We do a little scamming.
Yeah, so that's it for me. What do you got? What else do you got going on your end?
I guess up next, shout out to Felix Five Boots and Candlekeep Inspiration again. I tweeted about how I needed to play Candlekeep Inspa in my Felix deck, and shortly after that, we added the card to the deck. And since then, it's contributed to hella impactful gameplay presence every time I've played the deck. I had a game on MTGO where the entire game I'm just making fucking 1/1s with Call of the Nightwing every turn until late game. I cast the Candlekeep Inspiration and said everyone's just like 15/15s and hoofed them out of the game. I think I messaged you about this game actually. There was a guy who just fucking salted off in the game.
Yeah, you're like, this is bullshit, you can't do that. It's like, die, I guess?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I did message you about that. Yeah, so I'm like, I've got that 1/1 from Call of the Nightwing, and we've got the target player Mills 3 Cypher spell encoded on it as well. And we had Felix out earlier, so we're like, we're doing all of these twice every turn and filling up my graveyard and making a bunch of 1/1s. And then we start casting the fucking Cypher Reanimate spell, and an opponent on the Scorpion God tries to Rakdos Charm and exile my graveyard, and I'm like, fuck out of here. I cast a Stubborn Denial and counter that. And then I cast that Reanimate with Cypher, returning Glissa, Herald of Predation. We fucking pop off in that combat, we get some tokens, we mill 6, we reanimate a Jin-Gitaxias and a Timeless Witness. Those draw me into a Candlekeep Inspiration, and we put a Snakeskin Veil into my hand, respectively. We pass to the homie on Braids, takes an extra turn. They put me at 1 with the Combat and Burn, shred some board states, and then pass the turn. And then there's like a Mary Reed and Anne Bonny who doesn't do anything and passes. And a Scorpion God casts their commander, grieves them up, puts a -1/-1 counter on Braids' Smothering Abomination, and Braids salts the fuck off here. They're like, put it on the insect, the 1/1 horror with flying that I have. And then when the ability resolves and it's on their guy, they're just like, whatever, just attack me, get me out. And like the rest of the chat is like, bro, what?
just hose mad.
And they all remember that I have a Snakeskin Veil in hand, so like if you try and put that on there, it's not resolving.
People just, I mean, I'm one to talk, but like tunnel vision in Commander games, especially when you're already tilted, is like the worst to deal with.
Yeah, they were fucking losing their shit. But anyway, we cast the Candlekeep Inspiration after they get bodied, and then win the game off of that. And gamers are like, yo, Cypher, very cool.
I mean, look, considering how the few times that I've actually seen it play out, so you actually can pop off with Cypher stuff, I'm like, yeah, this is fucking sweet. If it blows up in your face before you can get off the ground, it's like the worst feeling.
It is a really tough needle to thread. Cypher is an extremely strong game mechanic, and they balance that by making the cards just so medium until the recent crop of Cypher spells like Arcane Heist and the Reanimate with Cypher that I just cannot remember the name of right now.
Fuck. I know which one you're talking about. Fuck. I'm so upset that I have it. I've seen it. I looked at it recently.
Yeah. I had another game that I was playing, Felix, where we were on like our Stolen Identity was the main Cypher
Writ of
spell.
Return.
Writ of Return. Thank you. Oh.
Just fucking, it's on the tip of my tongue. What the fuck is it called? I have an approximate knowledge of many things.
Glad we got there. Okay, so yeah, this one you're in this game. I'm like tokening out with the Stolen Identity, and I've got Felix, and I'm just like copying this guy and this guy. Like I have like everybody's board state all at once, basically. And then we cast that Candlekeep Inspiration, we make our guys very large, and then we turn them all sideways, take like most of the people out of the game, and then we get the Timeless Witness from the graveyard to pick up the Candlekeep Inspiration to clean up the next turn. It was pretty efficient and effective. Spells Craterhoof gamers. I like it. Last night, fucking Candlekeep Inspiration, then we got everybody's life totals an acceptable amount, and then trying to move the wards to just like finish that. And then we fucking died to an Avacyn with Pariah because I didn't have the interaction for that.
fucking Brandon.
Yeah, it's
He can't keep getting away with it. Why do we let this happen?
Yeah. So Cypher, like we were talking about, it's an extremely mid-game plan. But because of that, I built the deck with increased density of interaction. I have to have a tinfoil hat the size of Texas, like I talk about in the deck description, because people are so incentivized to remove my little 1/1s with Cypher or whatever. And I just, like, I can't have that. I've already spent 6 mana on the spell, investing that in ciphering it on this creature. And if you remove that, like, all of that just vanishes into the ether. So I can't fucking have it. So I try and always make sure that I've got some piece of protection in my hand, and I always have mana up to cast it. Like, in this deck, I've stopped tapping all the way out.
So I have a question for you, because, like, I'm not looking at the list just at this moment, but let me take a quick look.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have Rift Sweeper in the worst case scenario that one of your super sick, awesome Cypher spells get removed forever.
They're not that good, frankly.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, the Cypher spells are alright, but if they go all the way to exile, it's not worth spending resources to pull them out of exile and then put them back in my hand to cast again.
Fair enough. It is a pretty sweet deck, though. You do have, like, such a neat spread of creatures and effects. Mercurial Spelldancer is...
That card is the fucking truth. It gets counters every time I cast a non-creature spell, and whenever it deals combat damage, you can remove 2 oil counters and copy the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn. And in that particular deck, where I have Felix 5 Boots in play a lot, I can copy that ability and remove 4 oil counters, and then copy the next instant or sorcery twice. And
I have it on deck to be added to Hidetsugu and Kairi, because I'm just like, yeah, that's sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Since the past. Yeah, this list is just awesome.
Thank you. I like it a lot. It's got my babe, Cephalid Face Taker.
Of course.
Yeah, she's an evasive 1/4 and carries Cypher spells real good. And I can also steal the best keyword or triggered abilities on attack or combat damage on the board. And all of that feels really effective. Like, you had fucking Kellen the other day, and I was just like, ooh, a double striker with Cypher? I want that.
Stop! It's so good, but I'm like,
so
no!
I just borrowed Kellen's rules text for a turn, and it was just like, okay, great, ward 2. And I'm like, sure, worth it, I'll pay.
Yeah, I'm like, no, don't do that. You're like, but I got the cash, though. And I'm like, fuck, fine, jeez.
I'm like slamming my card on the fucking counter, like, swipe it now, you're fine.
Let me just tap it. Beep. Alright, we're good to go. Hello, I would like to intrude on your space. Please don't. Beep, beep. Fuck!
Yeah. The Felix Cypher deck is extremely cool. I'm having so much more fun with it than I imagined in the, like, brewing process. We were just like, a fucking harebrained scheme, basically. Like, it was just like, lol, Felix will double Cypher triggers. And then you actually, like, put it into practice, and you're like, wait, hang on. This is actually good.
Yeah, it's...
And
when it works, it works.
Yeah, shout out to Ancient Cellar Spawn. I need to cast that in this deck because the free Cypher spells will burn for up to like 6 mana, I think is the biggest one. So yeah, I can be burning people for 6 repeatedly.
Very cool. Right? You can't... Yeah. Again, Duskmourn continues to have cool cards in it.
Hell yeah, dude. Alright, what you got for us?
Because I got a couple more than you, I think I'll just combine 2 of, like, the shorter ones.
This is why I fucking told you.
Oh, boo-hoo! I see the frickin' size of your frickin' soapbox, so give me a second here. So, as part of the reshuffling of everything, 2 decks got a bit of a rework or just a complete annihilation of them. One of them being, I took a look at the Gimli Mournful Avenger list, and I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna fucking work for me. Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Game in with that?
I got a couple, I got more than like 2, but it just didn't hit the way I wanted it to. So I was like, I'm trying to do the Yasova thing without blue, and that's not going to work. And then I looked over and I saw the copy of Heavy the Allfather, and I'm like, but maybe. So I made a Heavy the Allfather deck using whatever I had left of my Zakama's mana bases. And then I just took apart Gimli and used whatever was appropriate for that. I haven't played with the deck yet, but the trade-off that I think I'm getting out of it is, like, pretty cool. There's some cards that I think I could probably add to it, like Warstorm Surge and Tear the Peaks or whatever. But I just kind of like the suite of legendary creatures versus other spells. I finally gonna get, like, opportunity to get Rien, Angel of Rebirth out. It's a 1 red, green, and a white for an angel with flying that's a 5/4. Other multicolored creatures you control get +1/+0, which, as it turns out, pretty decent spread of the creatures here. When another multicolored creature you control dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So, part of... What does Javi do? Well, he's indestructible. There are 4 more historic permanent cards. Who cares about that part? But it could be relevant. But he's a 6-mana, 6/6. Whenever Javi or another legendary creature you control dies, return target legendary creature card with lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So, you could, in theory, because we're playing green and I have a fairly decent amount of ramp here, we could be killing your stuff, have Rien trigger for the big thing, put the smaller thing out, put the big thing back in your hand, recast the big thing, and kind of rinse and repeat how appropriate.
So it's like a slow loop, but you can do that for as long as you have access to those cards.
Yeah. Then you get some other things like Spinner of Souls and Paleoloth, and where's that neat little enchantment here?
Evolutionary card advantage in the mix. Okay.
Yeah, so we're finding ways of getting the creatures to be deliberately put into our hand, so that way we always have some kind of chaff available. There's a few non-legendary creatures in here that I was like, I didn't care if I was going to be hitting them or not. Luminous Bridmoth is just so you can get those creatures that you're sacrificing back into play. Tribe Elder is that good old early turn. I'll block, but, like, I'll sack it on the end step if I need to.
I'm back at it again, doing a little scamming, basically.
Yeah. We got stuff like Duke Elder Ravenguard that you can copy your legendary creatures with Myriad, and then they count towards the death trigger for Javi.
Oh yeah, he's not looking for non-tokens.
So he doesn't care. Spinner of Souls cares, but I feel like there's a good, decent enough of, like, legendary creatures to, like, make it work.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Get to have a place to put Valkyrie's Call.
Yeah, finally. We've been trying to make this work.
Yeah, so, you know, you get stuff like Valkyrie's Call, so you always have your creatures out ready to go. You have Samut and Urabrask for giving haste enabling. You have stuff like Yosei the Morningstar for that control win condition. And then you have, like, Stalking Vengeance and Vicious Shadows for, like, the burn.
I noticed you kind of glossed over Yosei there, though. What's up with that?
It showed up in the pile. It's kind of neat. It's a dragon. I don't know. It seems kind of cool. So we'll see how it works out.
Okay, pal.
So, anyway, it's like a Naya Aristocrats kind of bullshit. I'm glad to have a home for Brian's Stout Arm again.
As they say, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that fling.
So it'll be pretty cool. But yeah, we'll see how that works out when I actually get a game in with that. But let's also talk about another deck that needed a bit of a reshuffle. This is my new Yidris / Garuda Companion deck that I've called Faustian Indulgences.
Back at it again with the free spells.
Yeah, but what an exercise in deck building because you only have the 2, like, the even mana value restriction. I had to dig really deep to think about how I wanted this deck to work out, and I've only gotten one game in with it. You still kind of have to piggyback off the fact that you have a 4-mana commander in the command zone that requires you to have all your exact mana. You also have a companion that effectively is worth 9 mana.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the Clue game plan like some other people are with, like, Auton, whatever the thing is from Doctor Who, the partner Sakashima Mirror Hall, Mirror Box, or whatever.
Too many Gyruda.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
not my angle. If I can piggyback off someone else's clone just to kind of go again, like, I'll do that. Sure, I'll do it again. But otherwise, the main goal is just, like, one, it's one part Simic bullshit, so we gotta get our Simic bullshit in there. We do have stuff like Hero's Blade and some slight, like, legendary creature matters stuff, but the goal is literally just, like, get ways to get, like, Inferno and Frost and Grave Titan out with, like, a Warstorm Surge or a Maelstrom Wanderer or whatever, and just turn things sideways for just overwhelming value. And if you happen to get your double striking circumstantially with, like, to Inferno or something, Yidris, to get that double cascade off, like, it's great. There's just, I don't know, I think there's just a lot of fun cards in here. It's just such a different exercise in deck building than what I'm used to, and that's obviously a credit to what companions do for restrictions. Restrictions breed creativity. It also makes me be like, cool, I'm more justified in playing my cycle of Titans in this deck.
Yeah, you only have so many, like, cards that you have to pick from at those mana values, so, like, you might as well indulge.
You're like, dang, I can't play Soul Ring. I guess Soul Talisman makes the cut.
Yeah,
I guess I have to
fucking Sirloin Flinger.
Have to figure out how to do, like, Sylvan. I haven't used Sylvan Caryatid a whole lot, but sure, why not? Let's put some Mana Dorks in there, and so on, so on, so on. Yeah, gameplay is probably going to be really interesting the more reps that I get in with it, because, like, if you have uneven amounts of mana, you either have to, like, cap out at 4 mana for whatever you're doing and be like, cool, so they know I have 1 mana open, but I don't have a counterspell, so, like, they know that I have jack shit.
Or you fucking cheat, and you can play stuff like Rune Flare Trap, which you can cast for a single mana, and is
yeah, but I don't have But Quinn, this is off-the-shelf brews. I don't have that card.
Yeah, well, that's just something to think about. Put that in your considering section. You gotta look at, like, trap cards or things that you can spend with your off mana. Or you can be an absolute sinner and add stuff like Simian Spirit Guide, or, dare I say, Ancient Tomb.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what I can do with this deck. But I was like, I had to figure... Mentally, I'm like, I talked about, like, I hate 5-color decks and, like, how do 4-color decks make the best, but I like Yidris because I got the New Cabana version.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I have to justify that this retool will work, otherwise it's just gonna break the deck apart again. So we'll see how it works out in the long run.
Yeah, keep hacking away at it.
All right, so you got one more, and then I got one more, and then we're doing the soapbox.
All right. Back at it again, talking about Kyodai, Soul of Kamigawa. I had this deck brewed on Moxfield. It's just like the Kami War, and it's Shrines and the Dragon Kami. But they don't let you break the rules like that on M2GO, and I did want to have that, like, Shrines Chantress experience there. So we picked something else that was thematic, and it ended up being another Dragon Kami. So we, chose that one. Like, I don't think I have Okagachi there, but that's, like, our other Woober Dragon Kami option. So yeah, we ended up using Kyodai, which gives us the color identity that we want, the theme, like, creature typing that we want. It's also an Aegis Angel that you can play in the command zone. So when it enters the battlefield, it gives target, I think, permanent, or another target permanent indestructible for as long as you control Kyodai. And I don't know, can you think of a very high value shrine that I might want to protect with a Aegis Angel? How about, like, Sanctum of All? Yeah, so that's the, like, protect the queen sort of strategy that we've got there. I'm also just trying out new things. I put the Kenrith's Royal Funeral in there just to see what that card did.
I just grabbed that recently. I really want to know how it works out.
It felt pretty good here. It's a 4-mana value enchantment for 2 a black and a white. When it enters the battlefield, you can exile up to 2 cards from your graveyard. I think they need to be legendary creatures from your graveyard, because it's the funeral. You're exiling 2 two bodies to put in the anyway, you get it. So yeah, that enters, you exile those two, you draw cards and lose life equal to the greatest mana value of the thing that you exiled, and the legendary spells that you cast cost 1 less to cast for each card exiled with it. So I set this up so I had exiled a 6 mana Dragon Kami and 2 mana Legendary Enchantress, and then my spells were oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I heard that.
Yeah, dude. My
Future Cole, edit that out.
My spells were reduced by 2, and I ended up drawing 6 cards and losing 6 life, which felt extremely good because I was fucking flooded. Was just top decking lands and getting no action in my Enchantress deck, which I don't know if you've played Enchantress before, but it's an extremely frustrating experience to not be able to cast enchantments.
Yeah, you either get like one or the other. I have all my enchantresses, but none of the enchantments.
Well, they fixed that recently by making all of your enchantresses also enchantments.
True. They even gave one in blue. What the fuck is with that?
Yeah, we did indeed play that one. You can just play the rooms stuff with the regular Shrine Enchantress game plan. That's been pretty cool. So Entity Tracker, we absolutely put that in there. We've got some rooms in the deck as well because they are good value, being 2 cards per card. The Roaring Furnace Steaming Sauna in particular is effective in Enchantress because you draw so many fucking cards. Your hand size is going to be big. You can deal the damage with the 1/2 and then give you no max hand size into Phyrexian Arena with the other half. All of that feels extremely good. I really like the Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber, of course. We all know this. Phyrexian Arena good, and also it comes with a demon, so what's more to love? I'm also on fucking Demonic Covenant in this deck, the 6 mana enchantment that makes a demon on the end step, and then mills, and then sacrifices itself if the card types match or whatever.
Oh right, isn't that the room?
No, that one isn't a room, but it did come out in the...
Oh no, but it is just straight up. Right, okay, sorry, let me look it up. First of all, sick artwork. Second of all, okay, cool, I understand now.
Yeah, the card's sick as hell. So, yeah, the shrines plus rooms plus Dragon Kami plus the occasional spirit type of support card is a viable game plan. As it turns out, there's a lot of shrines that make spirits, and then all of my Dragon Kami are creature type spirit. So I played the Drogskull Captain to give spirits +1/+1 and hexproof. You can play Hoffrey Ghostforge to give them +1/+1 trample and haste.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And so if you're just stacking all that up, I'm thinking about maybe finding room for Millicent, Restless Revenant, who just makes more spirit bodies and then gives me a insurance backup plan.
Built-in cost reduction for spirits too.
Yeah.
I've been on the receiving end of that card a couple times. It kind of actually slaps.
It does actually slap. The Millicent Precon is not the most exciting one, but it is an extremely solid spirits control deck. So yeah, that's that. It plays pretty good. Further tuning is required. I am doing alright, but my game plan doesn't really kick into gear until turn 7, which, as we've discussed before, is extremely fucking late for that metagame. So I need to build accordingly and include pillow forts to ensure that I can survive that long, or tutor things to find the spirit-making shrines so that we can prevent ourselves from getting run over in the early game. Just making things run more smoothly with the probably just high power staples that we have available there, because that's the metagame.
I mean, yeah, like you said, the Quinn brand of deck building just unfortunately doesn't make the cut on MTGO.
I think it does a little bit better when there is an all-access pass online. I think that encourages a lot of people who wouldn't otherwise be playing on MTGO to hop on, and then you see maybe less tuned decks with the sort of expensive staples in the queues, because people are just brewing what their heart calls to. with the all access pass because you have all of the cards.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, further research required on that. I've only like really paid attention to it for one of those.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it all works out when you run it back with all those changes. Because I don't know, it's about a commander with a different gameplay angle than like other 5-mana Enchantress Matters stuff.
Yeah, we've all seen the Susei Shrines deck. We've all seen the Ghost Shintai Shrines deck. It's time to give Kyodai a chance at being the Shrines Enchantress commander.
I need to think about that dang Kyodai again. Jeez.
Oh yeah, get the Kyodai mono white aggro with the wild chromatic lantern, so you can just like
yeah, no, that it makes the cut. It does go in there.
Hell yeah.
Okay, here's my last one. I got my Iron Man secret layer finally.
Nice.
As it turns out, a bunch of my friends up here in BC, we all pretty much got them the same day.
Sick.
I guess once, again, Canada Post getting forced back to work because the government said so, go fuck them. They guess, like, it was all waiting here in BC and then finally got distributed out at the same time. My buddy at work's like, hey, I got mine. Did you get yours? And I'm like, I don't know. I checked the mailbox early. It's not there. Checked it later in the day. It is. I'm like, it's a Christmas miracle or whatever. So for 3 hours before I was supposed to be playing a game with some people, I was like, I gotta get this together, like, ASAP. And it showed up on Lexicon the last weekend. Now, initially, just only one game. No idea what the fuck I'm doing because, you have to get Iron Man out, and then you start sequencing stuff to get your bigger, badder, scarier artifacts out. I have a completely different list than what I was initially thinking about doing, like, when I mocked up a list first.
Okay.
I think, like, for example, if I'm looking at the list right now, Dalakos, Crafter of Wonders, definitely stuck in there. Curie, Emergent Intelligence was still in there. Covert Technician was not in there. But I thought, I'm taking stuff off my shelf and making this deck. That seems like a pretty cool idea. So, it's a mix of, I was going to put Sean, Father of Synths in for sure, and Synth Infiltrator, but Traxos, Scourge of Krug was not considered, but now that I'm thinking about it, that's actually kind of fire. It's kind of the modular nature of, like, how much do you want to lean into the artifact of Birthing Pod and the Command Zone angle, and still have things be fresh and fun and exciting for everyone. I think I might want to try to get a copy of, like, maybe Death Render in the deck, and I am grabbing a copy of Pia's Revolution, because I gotta get some Cult of Athreos rep in this deck in some capacity.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the Cult of Athreos.
There's also the obvious part of, like, if I'm tutoring for a bunch of stuff, what am I grabbing? And you know what I'm grabbing? Fucking Assassin Gauntlet, because that's
fucking guy.
If I can't grab a Hero's Blade early enough, what's the next best thing? The artifact that enters the battlefield and auto-equips and taps stuff down. I gotta get Skull Clamp in there, because, you know what? As long as I can do it and Quinn's not in the room or in the immediate vicinity, I can get away with it.
You can get away with it when I'm playing mono black, because I've decided that artifacts are just going to be a thing that I'm weak to if I'm doing that.
True, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this will work out, because it's about engaging the game at a different angle of what I'm used to playing. And, like, Birthing Pod Iron Man is I'm cheating. I'm tutoring for this stuff effectively.
Yeah, you are.
But it's a matter of how am I going to do it, and when I'm going to do it, and what am I going to get, and I'm thankfully just, like, not being like, cool, so I got XYZ, I solve the equation, I win the game. It's not really my jam. I just want to turn giant artifact creatures sideways, and hopefully this deck satisfies that for me in some capacity. Or I guess it's on the chopping block again. But you know what? I really do love Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. I have MCU brain rot. This deck might stick around.
No, I understand. I like the first Iron Man movie as well.
I really actually like the second one, despite how much of a fucking disaster that movie is.
I haven't seen that in quite some time, so I don't have a whole lot of memory of it.
Let me hit.
There's like electric whips, and that was a lot.
It was cool. Suitcase armor.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
It's
I think he like jumps out of a building, and then it's like a briefcase.
Nope, that was Avengers 1.
Okay. Yeah, these are all of the same movie to me, kind of.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I don't know, sorry.
But I do really like them.
We could get into the MCU brain rot another day.
I'd like to see a robot.
Trap and I, Trap was joining us in the background for MTG Lexicon and had soundboard on deck, which was hilarious. But also, just me and him same braining, saying whatever whatever quote that we first came up with for like Iron Man is just like, damn, yeah, the MCU brain rot is real. The Iron Man, same shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna see what happens, but it'll be freaking cool.
Hell yeah. I'm excited to one day maybe flash in an Aven Mind Sensor in response to your Iron Man trigger, or perhaps play a Shadow of Doubt or a Mind Block Orb to tilt you into the sun.
How about I lightning bolt it?
Those are legal game actions that you can take in the format of Commander of the game of Magic the Gathering, a Deckmaster product.
Not sponsored. Alrighty. It's time. It's that time of the episode. Of the week? Of the episode.
Yeah. Alright, cue that elevator music.
That'll look good for editing later.
Yeah. Alright, so it's the beginning of the year. So what we're going to do is the MTG Ressies for 2025, and we're going to take a look at 2024's Ressies and see how we did on those. Resolutions. I'm not saying the full word.
I forgot what mine were until I said play more blue, which I did. And did I say something about control? I can't remember.
We have the whole last document, babes. Go back and look.
You know what? You're right. I forgot. This is why we have the technology.
Anyway. While you're looking for that, I'm going to go through some of mine from last year, and we'll see how we did. So first off, my resolution was Dance with Calamity, and I did resolve that one. I was playing the 15th Doctor and Clara Oswald, adding black to play the Grixis Improvise and Big Spells game plan and artifacts of the mana values that you can pick up. I'd like to play that some more. Dance with Calamity, I mean. But as it turns out, I just haven't constructed a deck where I think I can get the right kind of value out of it yet. I don't think. I like large spells, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of decks where
cool.
I'm gonna just cast 2 dragons, or flip 2 dragons and brick. I feel like that's gonna be most of those experiences. So what I need to do is take a look at that in a deck like Goblins. Perhaps that's a good option. We'll think about that. We didn't get there on Worst Fears, and we didn't get there on Thunder's debut. Those are... I don't play a whole lot of green mana.
Not to mention, both of those spells are not a small amount of mana to cast.
Yeah, that was the point. I wanted to pick some, fuck huge spells and just, let's resolve them.
Worst Fears is also kind of tricky. Because, you're paying 8 mana and also exiling the spell. So thank God you can't loop it. But when and who do you pick for the effect, and then like, are you getting 8 mana's worth of investment out of it, you know?
Yeah, that's the point. I want to have played the game and shaped it in such a way that I can get to a point where I can reach my inky tendrils into your mind and ruin everything that I've so carefully arranged previously from your perspective.
I hate that fucking card, though.
Yeah, it is kind of awful, but also I just really want to be that bitch.
All right, well, look, New Year's... First of all, let's just establish something. New Year's resolutions are bullshit.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
you can
However,
always try again next year.
I'm going to.
I also did a read back on our episode 5 notes from a year ago.
Yeah.
Effort to trim down my collection. It got worse. Trim down my decks? Yeah, okay, I did cut down my decks. Ding! Keep things more organized. I mean, I have my cards vaguely sorted by color and card type. It has also fallen in disarray, so wrong. And then I do remember saying, yeah, maybe play more blue, and I definitely have played a lot more blue in the last year, so sure.
Hell yeah.
It's like a 50-50 split. That's not, like, terrible. It's, like, less than a 50% split, but, you know.
Damn. I think I also resolved to play on the stack more, and we definitely did that.
Oh, I know. I was doing that to you all the time.
Yeah, and that's why I play more big shush effects, which, speaking of, play more big shush effects in decks where I need my combat uninterrupted. That's a big one. I got heavy into playing silence effects. There's all the ones that I play in Ultra Magnus, and in addition to those, we're on Conqueror's Flail in several decks. We've got Myrel in the Necrobloom. I truly am tired of getting fogged, or my things bounced with either eyes, or fucking nerds with the time stops ending the turn. Like, I can't have any of that anymore. So I need gamers to just shut the fuck up during my turn. I'm holding the talking stick.
Oh God, you just really love being greedy with your turn.
It's literally not greed. It's my turn.
But Quinn, as long as I have an instant speed effect, it is everyone's turn.
It's so funny to just be like, all right, end of your turn, look at the blue mage. Do you have anything that you'd like to do at the end of their turn? Because this is your last opportunity, but before your turn. And they're just like,
yeah,
oh, right,
the bar is closing. The bar is closing for the night. Get the fuck out.
And they're just like scrambling to cast their spells, and I'm just like, all right, perfect. And then I get to go into my turn with all that information that they were hoping to keep secret. I love that shit. I'm definitely going to continue on my use of the Conqueror's Flail and other my turn is my turn effects. I'm even on the fucking Scytheclaw Raptor in Dragon.
Just to punch people in the face about it?
Yeah, it's a very red way to be like, shut the fuck up during my turn. You don't want to cast spells if you're going to take 4 for it, or potentially more because I have damage modifiers.
Yeah, I might... I got that in a deck. I just can't remember where I put it. But it's always, like, in the back of my brain.
It's in Bloodrook. It's not in Bloodrook.
I do like punching people, and I don't know. Okay, you know, I'll think about it.
You're also trying to go to combat in that deck, and I know gamers will try to like path your impactful bomb, like what's her name, Aurelia?
Oh, yeah, take your pick on both of those. Also, Scytheclaw does not have a keyword.
Oh, it doesn't? What is that bullshit? I could have sworn
Quinn, it is a 3-mana 4/3 with major protection upside.
Alright, fine.
If people want to have a counterspell dual wizard battle on your turn, they're gonna fucking be burnt in the face about it, but...
Yeah, it's extremely not happening, because, like, how many of those take 4s do you have in you? This is a 40 Wizard Hats format. Chill.
We don't have that amount of life in Witch Poker, but, you know, it is what it is.
Exactly. Alright, so our other resolution, 2-mana instant speed kill spells with bling printings. Talk a big game about liking them and then never play them, so I wanted to explore more of them. And all of that shit is flexible. The instant speed, flexible. The mana value, flexible. I'm just talking about the like removal spells that they give bling printings because they expect them to perform well in formats where gamers like bling want to check their work, you know? Just be like, how good are those skill spells?
Yeah.
So we went through and actually looked at all of the ones that met a like vague approximation of that requirement from the sets over the year, and like decided whether or not we're playing them. Withering Torment from Duskmourn, I'm playing the hell out of this. It kills an enchantment, it kills a creature, it only costs me like 2 life, it's 3 mana at instant speed. Another Feed the Swarm effect was extremely welcome. I love that shit.
To all the players out there that wanted an instant speed version, congratulations, but it's 1 more mana, so go fuck yourself. But what if I just feed the swarm, but instant speed? No. We have to pay. You have to pay your dues. Let's come on. Also, 3 mana. If we're talking about like removal at mana value rate for these types of effects, if I'm comparing to like, Generous Gift and Beast Within as sort of like rough equivalents, like Withering Torment feels appropriate at 3 mana.
Yeah, it also has the bling printing of the like CRT TV frame treatment from Duskmourn, and I don't know about a lot of people, but I personally really enjoyed that, so I think that one looks really good.
I think that just like that kind of like magenta pink purple looks really fucking cool. Also, the artwork is just fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's like tendrils. It's a lot. I like it. Okay, moving to Bloomburrow, we had Fel, a 2-mana sorcery that says destroy target creature. It's got the like dark frame, like etched foils look like that, but it's not an etched foil, I don't think. Yeah, I like that treatment. I haven't played that spell at all, though. I hear it's good, but in practice, it's just like not a thing that I'm ever reaching for. I think I'm reaching for Withering Torment first. That one being so good really pushes a lot of these out, TBH.
If you're... sorry, continue. I like want to go on a tangent, but like Fel is like not my first go-to for like unconditional kill spell.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Infernal Grasp before I play that one, and that one also has a bling printing, so it's in the kind of cards that I want to be casting. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm gonna reach for that before I'm playing Fel. I don't know what it is about it. Anyway, let's move to Unwanted Remake. That one's a 1 white mana, destroy target creature, and its controller manifests dread. It's got the Duskmourn CRT treatment. I'm not playing that one. I don't ever think about white mana destroying target creature. If I'm in white, I'm usually trying to remove target creature from the fucking game entirely.
Yep. It's really hard competition against Path to Exile and Swords of Plowshares.
Yeah.
I'd also rather play the Metalcraft targeted exile effect. Dispatch. I'd rather play Dispatch.
I don't think about Dispatch very much because I don't know if I'm in like white mana and also in artifacts very often. I guess it makes perfect sense if you're playing Bloodrick though, because you just have spare blood tokens. That's going to give you Metalcraft easy.
Exactly. It was in the deck before. The removal suite has like changed over the years, but yeah, still considerable.
Up next we have Come Back Wrong, another one from Duskmourn with the CRT frame treatment. That guy like kills a creature and then brings it back on your side for a turn, and then you sacrifice it at the next end step. I probably should be playing this one, but I just haven't. I don't know. It's probably good. A lot of people are playing really good Magic the Gathering cards, and I can just like borrow your commander for a turn, and you probably have a pretty good commander. Like you put it in the command zone for a reason.
I think because you were mentioning like targeted kill spells for 2 or 3 mana, I did put that in my Shay, Cormac, and Luris deck. I haven't played it since though because of the gameplay style, and oh no, I might be on the dock, getting ready to chop its head off. But
yeah, library only has so much room for so many control decks.
Withering Torment obviously makes a cut, and I was trying to get like 2-for-1 kill spells to get the bounty counter on stuff before they die. So like malicious affliction has like a morbid trigger where if you kill something beforehand, you can copy it.
Oh yeah,
So
that one's pretty sweet.
But when it comes to like piggybacking off of something else, comeback wrong feels pretty good in the day and age of super sick ETBs. But you know, the source, it's 3 mana at sorcery speed, so you gotta be pretty deliberate. It's kind of tricky.
Yeah, I don't know. I could like hit somebody's Cultivator Colossus, borrow your Cultivator Colossus, do a couple of growth spirals, then send it back on its way, or sacrifice it to like a greater good or something before the end step trigger. Like, there's a lot of things that you can do if you're borrowing someone's creature for a turn. If you're an absolute fucking sinner, you can blink it with Thassa Deep Dwelling and return it to the battlefield under your control.
Very cool. Yeah.
And then you never have to sacrifice it.
Conjurer's Closet.
It's pretty fucked. You can also, if you're an Obeka gamer, tap the sundial and end the turn
just
with
end
that
the
trigger
turn,
on the stack, and you're just like, all right, I fulfilled my obligation. Let's move on. And you're just like, wait, but my creature, Anyway.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's there's a lot of cool things that you can do with that. Let's move to the next one. We've got Deadly Complication. I am not playing this one, and TBH, I didn't know it existed until I looked for this exercise here. It looks playable. Deadly Complication's a sorcery for 1 a black and a red, and you choose one or both. Destroy target creature, or put a +1/+1 counter on target suspected creature you control. You may have it become no longer suspected. I feel like if you're in a metagame where you are regularly getting suspected, this is probably even higher. Or if you are playing a deck that has the ability to suspect its own creatures and then profit off of that, I think that could be good.
Well, do I have something for you?
Yeah, you've got that Agros Kasi who's regularly suspecting. We've also got Brandon, who has the Nelly Borka deck. She's regularly suspecting. I don't think it's a bad idea to think about it, but I do think I'm probably playing Withering Torment instead.
I don't know who's the person in the Legendary Creature Discord who has the Agros Cost Voltron deck, but if you end up playing games with them, then like maybe this type of thing is okay. But I was like, I actually meant Crime City, the Grixis Dan commander thing, because it's a combination of New Capenna and Merzikharla Manor and Thunder Junction, so that way there is many people are being suspected of crimes, and you'll also want to find a way to like prevent your.
You basically built the crimes cubed, and you have decent suspect support, so that's a good spell in that because, you built around it basically.
I don't know why criminals are accusing each other of committing crimes because they're all criminals and who has that authority.
To take the heat off of yourself, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I think maybe if it was instant speed, which would probably be pushing it a little bit too much for limited, but it is also a 3 mana kill spell, and we already have a bunch of them in Rakdos colors that just do that at lower value.
Yeah, like I could be playing Bedevil is the thing, and I could also kill your Liliana.
Yeah, or you could play like Terminate and just knock off one more.
Yeah, just like a red and a black, and your thing is dead.
So yeah, it's tricky. Did you mention the Long Goodbye just above this?
We're gonna get to that one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I skipped over it. Whoops. So Long Goodbye, that's the next one. I am playing that a lot on Arena, where curves are guaranteed lower, but I haven't played it in EDH. I think I'm not as into it. The MV limit in this much taller format is just like, I'm not going to be able to hit the things that I want to be able to hit. And at 2 mana, I can be playing Baleful Mastery, and for the price of gifting an opponent a card, remove target creature from the fucking game.
Yeah, so I was thinking about I think about the spells like this that have such steep criteria, and it's just like, it's good because it can't be countered in the day and the age of having to deal with ward. like it makes sense of just bypassing that completely. But that just goes to show that it is
fucking Kellen with the Sheltered by Ghosts. So just long goodbye his ass.
Yeah. But other than those specific situations, it just goes to show that it's a very deliberately standard design card.
Yeah, this is for 60 card formats. So yeah, that's my list of the kill spells that I wanted to test out. I do have 2 more Ressies. One was to build and play a mono green deck and maybe learn to love the leaf. Unfortunately, gamers, I brewed mono green, but nothing captured my heart. HUDs is extremely close, so that's a green-ass Gruul deck.
I mean, green's in the color I think as long as you have green in the color combination.
Yeah, maybe we'll find something next year to capture my heart and make me fully commit to mono green, but I'm not feeling it thus far. And then my last one, bonus, we do a little more spell theft. I love this. I've been playing Predator's Hour. I think that's our best example. I started just putting that in mid-range combat decks because it's like a coastal piracy, except I'm drawing from your library for a turn. And it doesn't fucking matter whose library the cards come from. If you see enough of them, you'll find something useful. And the menace that gives the team for a turn, it makes that more likely to happen. You can connect a lot easier.
I also just find when it comes to these types of effects that sometimes just getting rid of opponents' cards and doing nothing with them is as valuable as also casting the spells.
That is also really good. Sometimes you just rip a thing off of somebody's deck and you're like, that's a combo piece that I don't want to be in the game, so we're just going to leave it exiled, and now you can't have it ever. That feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Predator's Hour, that's our best example of us upping the spell theft content in the decks. Besides the just straight up theft deck with Don Andres, which we have been playing and enjoying. That's really cool. It got a huge boost with OTJ. Rakdos and Laughing Jasper Flint and the crime technology. It was a really good year for people who like to touch other people's cards. Big fan of everything that happened with all of that.
I got to play against Light Saskia deck, and that had that Rakdos in it.
Yeah.
That Rakdos should have made my most hated cards of the year, because that thing does way too much for its rate. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's kind of a lot. That's why I keep that guy in the 99. You can put him in the command zone and just play Rakdos Evoke and shred people's libraries and have wicked card advantage, have a really good time. But also it's extremely powerful.
Yeah, it's... Honestly, I really want to get a copy of Predator's Hour.
I think we
just don't know what to put it in.
I told you, mid-range combat deck. Does Radon Agadin need a Predator's Hour, maybe? Probably not.
I have 20 different... I have so many different ways of giving him evasion or menace, and the tokens that he makes have menace. So,
it's not about the menace entirely. It's also about the coastal piracy from your opponent's decks.
True. I don't know. I'll think about it. The list is pretty tight at the moment in terms of
yeah, that makes
what
sense.
I've chosen.
It's I feel like Predator's Hour is one of those cards that you have to start with in the deck, because otherwise it's just not the kind of thing that you're going to think to add later, and it's really tough to find a slot for. But if you budget that from the beginning for evasion and card advantage, then you have time to get gameplay experiences in with the card that bond it to you and make you feel like it's a valued inclusion in the deck.
Yeah, but it's still really freaking cool though. I don't know. One of those cards that eventually, if I find a copy of it, I will just have it in the pile, and then if a slot opens up or something, then yeah, sure, I'll put it in the deck. But I usually try to not steal people's stuff before they've played it. At least I'm an act of treason kind of boy,
Oh, so you do it worse.
Yes, correctly. Indeedly so.
I do feel like spell theft gets a tiny bit less salt when you steal from people's libraries and have to like manually cast the spells yourself, because then it's just like I've drawn a card off of your library and I'm not like taking a thing that you've spent resources on. Like it still sucks a little bit because you put those cards in your deck so that you could play them, not so I could play them. But it's better than having spent resources on a thing and putting it on the battlefield and then somebody hitting the fucking act of treason and sacrificing it, or the fucking literal like mind control and just like stealing it from the board. Like that sucks.
Listen, I'm trying to get the effect in as cheap as possible, and it's hard to beat at least a 3 mana rate, but it's probably likely 6 because I'm casting like Mob Rule or something.
Your man's out here not even doing it for the love of the game, using it with a cold-hearted value. Do you hear that? Disgusting.
Yeah, also, by the way, I'm actually a control player. I hope we established that.
Yeah, that's how you play Rakdos Control. I will take your thing, I'm going to hit you with your thing, and then I'm going to sacrifice your thing, and now you don't have a thing anymore. Also trigger Mayhem Devil.
The stupid sexy Mayhem Devil.
Oh man, he looks so good on that new card.
Why did they do that? I don't know. Because
they have to throw a little something to the boy likers in chat every once in a while, because they do plenty of fan service to the people who like women.
This is incredibly true. I think someone said that recently. They're like, you know what? Good. I'm glad that they're making, like, Gideon beefcakes and Tyvar and twink-ass fucking, what's his name? Oko and...
It's just like,
they're like,
to the boy likers.
They're like, wow, Winter looks like he literally just rolled out of bed, and someone out there is like, that one's for me! And I'm like, okay. I mean, not my thing, but alright, fair enough.
Shout out to the grunge girlies, you are seen.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our bonus resolution. I guess we can talk about these new races that I want to try. Heartless Conscription. That is a very big sorcery that exiles all of the creatures and gives you the ability to cast them, and it washes the mana so that you can pay mana of any color. Comes in the Gaunty Theft deck, and I would like to touch even more other people's cardboard, and that seems like a really good one. Yeah.
Considering that it's an 8 mana board wipe that exiles is already pretty dang good. If you're deliberate about that and people are like, no, my indestructible stuff, great, whatever, go die. But at the same time, the fact that, again, what I actually love about these like Gaunty-esque effects, it's not tied to you have to do it this turn, or as long as this thing is out, you're allowed to. It just says,
stay in your little like pocket dimension, and you can pull them out whenever.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be pretty interesting to see if you're able to pop off with this at some point. What deck are you thinking, or what do you got it in right now? Or
I don't have it in anything right now. It's just in a box because I do have that Gaunty precon because I'm a spell theft nerd. But I don't know, I gotta play it in something that like ramps pretty hard because it's fucking expensive.
It's 8 fucking mana. Yeah.
Or I have to play it as like a control finisher where I've exiled all of these cards and I've been controlling the game, so you're basically hellbent, and I have essentially drawn every card on the battlefield as a creature. So I'm like, that like swing in value where like you're hellbent and I have all of these options, that wins you games. I don't know. Maybe Aquazots? I don't know if I'm actually going to build that. I'm not
tilting into the sun as we speak. Here I go. Whoa!
Yeah, I don't know if the metagame needs a discard deck, but at the same time, it's a wide swath of black mana's color identity and what they're allowed to do. And I think that ignoring that entirely is, I don't know, like you're doing the color a disservice. So I want to explore that a little bit, I think. Yeah, that's a resi. We're going to try discard.
Okay, alright.
We're just going to put that on the list right under Heartless Conscription. Not try discard. We're going to make a more serious commitment to a discard deck. There we go.
There we go. That's more, what's the word I'm thinking of? Deliberate, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm speaking that one with much more intention, so I like that. We can also probably put worst fears in
Grookey
that
gun. You will commit to the discard deck.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna try again with worst fears. I really want to see that one resolved. I just like the fantasy of being the fucking scheming villain and winning with your stuff that you like had on your board. Man,
This sounds like it's gonna end up in a Grixis Mean Girls deck or something.
probably the main place that I saw that resolved and what like was the like inspiration to add that to our list of Resies entirely was Rebel Lily's Bolus roleplay deck, where she does exactly that, like control the board to a point where she can get you like very close to victory and then cast worse fears and use your very nice board state against you.
Truly, truly my worst fears.
Yeah, I would like to be the Bolus.
Alright, we gotta put Mike on the line.
Yeah, dude, am I the Bolus for literally role-playing Bolus?
You might be, but
Probably.
we'll have,
I probably
we'll have to.
am.
It's leading more likely yes than no at this point.
Yeah. All right, and then my last Resi. Maybe go harder on extra combats. I haven't played a whole lot of those in a long time. I'd like to get back to it. There's a lot of stuff that happens when you attack. I would like to see twice of that.
I had a Karlach be freed up, so she may or may not be going into Audric at some point in the year, depending on what the other sets look like. Like, we gotta get through Aether Drift first.
Oh, dude, Aether Drift, man. I gotta brew up to ready for, like, stream or something. I'm gonna see what that card does.
Yeah, I don't exactly, like, I don't know, she's, extra combat's, like, we were playing last night, and I had, sort of Hearth and Home with an Aurelia, the war leader, in my hand. I didn't have it in play, and I was, like, I was thinking about it, and I wasn't sure if it was, like, I was gonna be able to do it, but I definitely had the fucking mana to do it. And it's, like, you know, infinite combat steps is pretty great if you're able to reset stuff. Infinite extra combat steps, period, tend to be pretty dang good. But I also know that, like, it's tricky to balance it depending on, like, what else is going on. But, you know, it's, again, like many things about Magic, it's a deliberately designed feature of the game. And honestly, sometimes with how red can burn bright or just fizzle out on the spot, sometimes that extra combat can really just make or break a game.
I think we're gonna try, at minimum, Karlach and Dragonhawk because she's a ferocious creature.
Oh, hell
give
yeah.
us more Dragonhawk triggers. Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see that. And then I do want to see about Hexblade Wallbreaker in more equipment decks. I think Maybell would look very cute wearing that set of armor. That would be very funny in my mental image.
Well, you did mention that you were supposed to be adding some stuff to the deck, so...
Yeah, I did get the Valkyrie's Call in there, so we need to just, like, actually play test it and see how that goes.
God, this is making me think about what I want to be doing. I'm not going to set it in stone on the dock, though I probably should. Maybe I'll do it afterward. I think I'm going to continue to see how far down I can cut decks. Like, how my, like, if I can get below 30, I think I don't have to go to AA meetings afterward.
Watch, we're gonna see you at the end of this year, and you're gonna be like a Zen.
So I'm back up to 40
with your fucking bathrobe, and you're just like fucking completely chill. You have 10 decks. They are perfectly organized.
Whoa!
You know exactly
let's not.
let's
Something happened, and you know, just
something happened, and Cole radically shifted how he lived his life.
If someone will be coming, like, listening to this episode and then listening later in the year, they're like, what the fuck happened? And then I'm like, I started smoking weed, man. So, yeah, I think in anticipation of, unless they fucking throw me sideways out of nowhere with Aether Drift, I don't really anticipate seeing anything super crazy happening, causing me to like make a new deck out of nowhere. I am expecting something for Final. I'm expecting Final Fantasy to like really hit me in the gut somehow, so I'll be looking into that.
You got at least 2 Sid decks coming.
So gotta sit down for that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else though? Like, I don't know. I have to really be deep and introspective, and honestly just say it like moving is the first priority. So
yeah, that's probably what you're thinking about right now. Not really like, how's my Commander gameplay experience going to improve over the year? Like, there's no time to be fucking heady and introspective about that when you're like uprooting your living situation.
I don't know. In terms of like Magic and everything, like in terms of the last year, the things I've experienced, the things that I've done is like been pretty fun and good. So I've been pretty emotionally satisfied with what I've been up to. Also, you know, hey, I've embraced my control player persona, so
yeah,
you know.
You used to just cast Frostite and be like, but I'm not a control mage though. And now you cast it and say, and I'm a control mage, bitch. Deal with it.
Okay, anyway, so I'm gonna be busting out Hilda again. It's been a while. She needs to spread her legs.
She's back? Oh shit.
Spread her legs. Fuck.
Anyway.
Yeah. Take a walk around town, spread her legs. Damn it, I did the exact same thing that Matt Mercer did on Critical Role. Fuck me. Thank you for laughing at that, by the way. That was great. But yeah, I think the other thing too is like, I think once we've moved and settled in wherever that happens to be, the next step will actually be either A, properly cataloging my cards in some capacity and can keep track of that, or use third-party stuff like, what is it, Card Garden or whatever, and trade my stuff in bulk, get cash, and be like, cool, either, take whatever portion comes back, put that in the bank, put it in a lock and key, and then take like $300 and be like, I'm still not buying my fucking OG duels. Fuck you all.
This is how we get down to Cole with 10 decks in his monk's robes.
Yeah, no, I think, again, if we hit that Zen point, something's either gone terribly right or terribly wrong, and you're right to be concerned on both situations.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, man, Magic the Gathering is pretty cool, huh?
What a cool game we all get to play. Holy shit, wow.
Alrighty, let's wrap it up.
Gamers, you can find us on Blue Sky at HBVC. We dash MTG.
We're dash MTG because they don't do underscores.
Yeah, .bsky.social. We got call it hang on.
Nope.
Uncommon. Uncommon.
I'm still not the bludger guy yet.
Yeah, one day he's gonna change it to the bludger guy. Maybe that'd be very funny.
It would be.
And then I'm there at Grodic Energy. Find the podcast wherever podcasts are sold. You know the drill. Leave us the fucking comments if you've got some New Year's Ressies that you're up to. How you performed on yours from last year. Just give me updates on all that. I want to see what you got going on.
Yeah, get it on our desk in 2 weeks, please, and thank you.
Alright, I think that's it for us then, gamers. We're gonna get out of here. Later.